While I lay alone in that hospital bed, I realized how loud silence becomes when no one is there to distract you from your truth. The machines kept beeping, but none of them asked how scared I was, how badly I wanted someone to hold my hand. Lying there alone, I learned that pain doesn't always scream. It often whispers the memories you've been running from. That hospital bed became a mirror, forcing me to face everything I avoided when life was busy and loud. I wasn't afraid of dying in that bed. I was afraid of realizing how alone I had already been while living. The ceiling above me saw tears I never cried in front of anyone else, and it never judged. In that hospital room, I replayed every conversation where I pretended I was okay just to keep others comfortable. I kept waiting for footsteps that never came, and each minute taught me who truly mattered. Being alone in that bed stripped me of my ego and left me face to face with my soul. I discovered that loneliness hurts differently when you're surrounded by people who are paid to care, not chosen to stay. That bed held more than my body. It held regrets, unanswered questions, and prayers I never said out loud. The pain wasn't just physical, it was the weight of realizing how replaceable I felt to the world outside. Alone in that room, I learned how strong I was, not because I wanted to be, but because I had no choice. Every night there felt endless, filled with thoughts that daylight usually keeps quiet. I stopped asking why this happened to me and started asking what it was trying to teach me. The hospital bed became a pause button, forcing life to slow down so I could finally listen to myself. I understood then that healing isn't just about the body, it's about forgiving the life you survived. While alone, I realized how often I had shown up for others, hoping one day someone would do the same for me. That room showed me the difference between being loved and being remembered. I learned that vulnerability feels heavier when there's no one to witness it. The nights were the hardest, when distractions faded and my thoughts grew teeth. I forgave people in that bed who never apologized, not for them, but so I could breathe again. Being alone there taught me that strength sometimes looks like quietly surviving another hour. I stopped pretending I didn't need anyone and finally admitted how deeply I did. That hospital bed saw the version of me the world never gets to meet, the broken, honest one. I realized how many times I minimized my pain just to avoid being a burden. In that stillness, I understood that rest isn't laziness. It's recovery from being strong too long. I counted the cracks in the walls just to keep myself from breaking. That bed held my body, but my mind traveled through every mistake and missed goodbye. I learned that sometimes survival isn't heroic. It's quiet, lonely, and exhausting. Alone there, I stopped asking for signs and started becoming my own hope. I noticed how easy it is for the world to move on while you're stuck fighting for yourself. That hospital room taught me that not everyone who says, "Call me if you need anything," means it. I made promises to myself in that bed that I still carry today. The loneliness didn't break me. It revealed parts of me I had ignored for years. I realized how often I gave pieces of myself to people who wouldn't sit with me in silence. That bed showed me how fragile life is and how careless people can be with each other. I learned that healing begins when you stop pretending you're not hurting. Alone in that room, I stopped chasing closure and started choosing peace. I found strength in breathing through moments I thought would crush me. That hospital bed became the place where I stopped running from myself. I understood that love isn't proven in words, but in who stays when it's inconvenient. I cried quietly, not because of pain, but because I finally let myself feel everything. That loneliness taught me how to comfort myself when no one else would. I realized that sometimes life isolates you to reintroduce you to your own worth. The silence there was heavy, but it was honest. I stopped waiting for apologies and started healing without permission. That bed taught me that surviving doesn't mean you're okay. It means you're still here. I learned that asking for help doesn't make you weak. Being ignored doesn't make you unworthy. Alone in that hospital bed, I decided that if I survived, I would never abandon myself again. I discovered how strong a heart can be when it has no audience. That room became the place where I finally chose myself. I realized how many people loved the version of me that never needed anything. The pain passed, but the lessons stayed with me. I learned that loneliness can be a teacher, not just a punishment. That hospital bed showed me the cost of being emotionally independent for too long.